Hey friends, welcome back to Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Tube. I'm Kayla. Thanks for joining me today at my desk. I am playing around with my 22 needle Centro. Excuse my cough, I have been sick and that cough seems to be lingering on forever. So this is my little 22 peg machine, needle machine, not peg. Needle machine, and so I have one black needle and the rest of them are white, so that is my first needle. And so I like to add a little chip clip. Actually, it's a clip that came on my very first machine, which was the one from Loops and Thread from Michaels, but I like to just hook that on there and then bring that into my machine. And so what you do is when you load your machine, you go in and out, in front of, behind every needle. So this one I'm in front of it, so the next one I go behind it, in front, behind, in front, behind. So you kind of weave it in all the way around. And yes, sometimes I still mess that up sometimes and have to start over a lot of times. Especially on the bigger machines, you might just, lose your place and kind of mess up a little bit. But I think I got this one all good. Hopefully. Alright, so today I am making a stuffed rabbit plushie. Miffy, if you're familiar with that, is what I have in mind that I want to make. So I have it worked out where I'm going to make 52 rows. Rounds, if you would call it. Okay, so I'm having a lot of trouble holding my machine with this. The other machines I'm able to grab on a leg, and that doesn't seem to be working for me with this machine to hold this one still. But so I'm going to try it with no tension and let it go and see if that makes any kind of difference for me. I may have to start over. We'll see what happens. So I'm going 52 rounds. Now this little machine does not have a counter, so I'm going to have to manually count 52 rows every time this black needle goes by. So just to get going, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can see the rows happen really quickly because they're short rows. They're not, not that big around. So, I'm going to do that, and I'll be back when I'm hitting my 52 rows. $50, $51, and here we are at 52 rounds. Yay, we made it. Okay, so I have my sleeve is inside here. I'm going to cut my yarn, and I'm going to leave enough tail that I can go around and pick up all these stitches. So I want to take my tail and I don't want to pull it out too far yet, but I just want to make sure I leave enough tail that it's going to reach across and be able to pick up all these stitches. So I'm going to thread my needle here, and I'm using a curved needle here that's metal. You just have to find what needle works best for you. This isn't the one that works best for me, but it's the one that I'm using today. You just have to experiment and find out which ones kind of work best for you. Okay, so I'm going to I want this black one to be my first stitch I pick up. So I'm just going to easily pull my handle around, and I have it where I can pick up a few stitches Alright, so that's what I'm going to do all the way around. I'm going to easily move it up. I've got 4 stitches I'm going to pick up this time. You don't want your stitches to come off your machine until you have your needle inside the stitch pulling it up. So my plan is to create a little rabbit called Miffy. I don't know if you're familiar with Miffy. She's just a cute little rabbit. So that's what I am trying to create, because before we know it, it will be Easter. Oh, we got Valentine's. Well, we got St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's, and Easter always pops up before I'm ready for it. So I thought I would just go ahead and create a little Miffy. And she may be a Valentine's rabbit. Who knows? We'll see what happens here. Now I will say it doesn't take as long to go around and pick up 22 needles, stitches rather, as it does when you do the 48 machine and you have to pick up 48 stitches. That seems to take forever. But my arms give out. And I do need to give my arms a break. Because my arms are just weak and really feel heavy. And by the time I'm trying to pick up these stitches, it's just getting harder and harder to do it. So you have to, take breaks and do it according to how you need to do it. Okay, I want to make sure I got all that stitch. That one didn't pick up either, because I can't see. I'm really having an issue with my eyes this past week. They're just not playing well, and they do that sometimes where they don't play well with me, and then they'll straighten back out. It has to do with, my chronic illnesses, medications I take, stress, things like that. Okay, we're almost 2 more stitches. 1 and 2. Alright, so we can just take this off the machine and pull it out. And then I'm just going to push the machine over to the side. That looks like a really nice tube. And that's what we have, is a tube of 52 rows. It looks very nice, looks very neat. The stitches are all even. They're all the same. So I'm going to start closing in this end down here, and this is the bottom where I'm going to call her feet and legs. Okay. And then this is going to be her top. Okay, so let me just tell you a little secret about making plushies on the knitting machines. If I just stuff this, it's going to look like a thin, very, very homemade. And I do like the look of homemade, but I'd like for it to still look nice. So what I do is I make 2. Okay. And you might notice right off the bat, this one doesn't look as nice as this one. This was my first one. I was experimenting, but I can still use this one. So what I'm going to do is close off the bottom here for the feet area. And where'd that needle go I had? Oh, there it is. But you know what? I have another needle here. And I'm just going to close off the little foot and leg area at the bottom. You know, and I kind of forgot I was planning on giving her some black shoes. And I forgot. So I'm just running my yarn through here to close this up. Close it up. And I'm going to give one more right here. A little close up stitch. Okay. Now, so what this is going to be is an inside, and this is going to be the outside. And so I am just trying to stick my needle in here. And I'm just going to run this yarn up on the inside here. And you may can do this a little bit faster than me if you have 10 fingers. But I'm just giving it my best shot and just sharing what I, know how to create. So I'm just going to stuff all that tail in there. From the bottom, it went up inside and it's in there. Okay, so I have some yarn here. I mean, not yarn. Oh, what's this stuff called? Polyfill. And I'm just going to start stuffing my plushie. And I want to get it down here in the feet area really well. You might notice I have a little bit of black stain right here because I did mark my needle on both sides of that black needle. I marked some permanent marker on there, so I can see that needle as it's going around and know when it's coming back. So I did that, and then I did this immediately afterwards, and so some of it come up and stained the yarn a little, but it's okay. This is going to be on the inside. So I'm just going to continue stuffing my plushie. I hope this turns out as cute as I have it imagined in my head. Who knows? Basically, it's just a white rabbit. It can be any kind of white rabbit. It could be the white rabbit from Alice in Wonderland or whatever. And like I said, this particular one did not, the stitches did not play all that great for me. But since it's going to be on the inside, I can still use it. If both panels had ended up like that, I would have made another third panel to try to, and not used all three, but used the worst and the best. Because I want it to, look nice. But it doesn't matter on this first inside panel if it has some weird looking stitches. just keep stuffing my little tube here. Basically, I want this to be about the same size going all the way up. So what are you all up to today? What's going on in your world? I have been waiting on FedEx since Monday, and it is Thursday night, and my package still did not come. It's a package I ordered from Joann's. You know, Joann's shipped the package, so Joann's only fault is that they use FedEx, okay? I never have good luck with FedEx. Sorry to say that. And if any of your children or husbands work for FedEx, I'm sorry to say that, but here in Monroe, Louisiana, the FedEx is very questionable. I mean, seriously, the order was in Monroe, according to tracking. The order was in Monroe Monday morning, and it said it was out for delivery. It has said it was out for delivery every day this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and it still has not made it to my house. So, yeah, I can order something from Japan, and it will be in the United States, in my town, at the FedEx office in 3 days. But it will still take FedEx another 7 days to get it to my house, just across town. So that's very aggravating. Alright, let me see. I'm almost done. I think I'm going to put this little bit left. Just stuffing it in here because I do want the head kind of big. Miffy's head is kind of big for her body. So I could keep stuffing this, because if you stuff this first one and the stitches are open and you can see the stuffing and all that, it doesn't matter too much, because you're still going to have that second layer. But I'm going to call it good for there, because really on this one, I'm kind of experimenting and just playing around to see how I want to create this, right? So I'm going to close off my top here. And I do have to put eyes on it, but they're only going to be on the first layer and not on this one. So I hope my FedEx package does come on Friday, which is probably the day that most people are watching this video. Alright, I'm just going to run my yarn down through here and come out to the side. Now this first layer looks horrible. It does. And I was trying to get to know my machine, and just wasn't doing my tension correctly and such. So that's why that is that way. Alright, so now I have my other layer, and what I need to do is put this layer inside this one. So I'm going to just roll this down That needle is poking all through every which way except for what it's supposed to do. Alright, so I'm going to just roll this up on here, kind of like a sock. Just making sure that's stuffed in there all the way. You'll see the yuckiness from that first. What is going on there? The yuckiness from that first tube, you can't see all that. It looks all smooth and just great. Okay, so on this one, I'm just going to pull this tight. I am going to go ahead and close it at the very tip. But I'm not going to cut it or hide it at the moment. I'm just closing this off. Okay, I feel like this could have been pushed down a little bit tighter into there, so that's kind of what I'm doing, just like putting a sock on. Okay. Now from my top down, I'm going to count down about 21 stitches. Starting at the head up here, I'm going to just get me a needle and I'm going to count down about 21 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1. Okay. Now, because I've got this stretched, I'm also going to count off 21 on the other side so that, because I don't want it to just be too wavy there. I want to count down about 21 on this side too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And so from here to here, I can kind of eyeball it. And if I get off a row or two, it won't be that bad. But trying to go all the way around, you might end up like really bad off. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just cut me a piece of yarn. It doesn't have to be real long. And I'm going to take another needle over here, thread this, and which side do I want to be the front and which side do I want to be the back? I think this is going to be my back, and this is going to be my front. So I'm going to start in the back at this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle and just kind of weave it in and out of this layer. Weave it in and out of the stitches. all the way around. In and out. And somewhere or another along the line you might, like, you know, not get it quite exact, and that's okay. That's okay. But you do want to leave a tail that you're not going to pull through. And you just want to keep going. The best that you can. And now we got to keep going till we get to the other side over here where we started. Now this is a simple plushie. We didn't change colors, so I feel like it's a good beginner plushie for a knitting machine, because you can change colors and all that kind of stuff, you know. But this one is just a solid color, and I see a hair of mine I'm just going to pull out. So this is a good beginner plushie project. All right, and now I am back around. I'm working on the back side of my plushie here. And so what I'm going to do is tie that, and then this creates the head. But I wanted to go ahead and do that separation so far, and I probably will like gather it and make it a little bit tighter so I can decide where I want to put my eyes on the head here. So I am going to hold that as tight as I can for a moment, and then just kind of see where I want to put my eyes. And then we'll tie this off better shortly, but and I don't want to close that up all the way because I'm still going to be working on the inside too. So let's see, here's an eye, and here's an eye, maybe. I'm going to lay this down and look at it, and I'm going to get my eyes out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got some eyes out and some backings, and you know, you can embroider eyes. You do whatever you feel comfortable doing. It's your plushie. I have no idea what you're doing with it, and you have no idea what I'm doing with mine. So you do your comfortableness, and I'll do my comfortableness on it. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put my nose, because I just happened to find a pink safety eye nose. 1, 2, 3. And it's no center here, because I'd skip 3 on this side and 3 on that side. I'd have to actually go one more over, which I can. I was trying to leave 6 stitches in the between the eyes, but now I just moved it over to leave 7. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and I'm remembering that this is the legs here, so I'm going to be doing a little sewing right down here on the legs. So I'm going to want the nose to run up the center there. So I'm going to go over 1, go over 1, and go over 1. But now I need to make sure my eyes are still kind of centered there. Okay, So I'm going to try to put in my little pink nose first. Right there. Smush on down in there. Okay, so that's my pink nose. And I just happened to find that in my drawer. I didn't set out to use it. Now my eyes, I want to get this in that hole before I lose it and not get them even. And they may not be even. That's why I'm not putting the backs on them yet, because I want to play around with it just a little bit and make sure that I'm happy where they're placed. Yep, I have them about the same height up, and I have them 7 rows in between, and I have my little nose here. So I'm going to go ahead and go with this. Now my problem is trying to put these backs on. Sometimes my hands just aren't strong enough to do it, but I'm going to give it a shot. So I'm going to take this one eye and kind of roll it up. And I may have to go let Big Daddy help me put that on. Get him to smush that on there better. Because my hands don't feel like they're going to cooperate. Okay, I got it on there just a little bit to hold it. And I'm going to get him to help me get it on there a little bit tighter if I need to. Okay. Alright, now I just need to get the nose on. It is a little difficult when you know, are having to figure out how to hold things to do them. Let me see if this one will go on for me. Yeah. That one actually went on a lot easier. Okay, I'm just going to tighten these down. Okay. Now, I'm kind of just pulling this up and straightening out my pieces and getting them down into that, you know, positioned correctly where I want them. And his little nose is a little crooked, but hey, that gives our plushie's character. I'm not one that thinks everything has to be perfect. I like for things to be different and have character, because I'm certainly different and have character. All right. And as you make plushies and get more comfortable doing it, you will just find your own way of liking to do it, and you know, you might find a way that you like to do it better than what I'm doing here, and that is perfect. You definitely want to find your own way and create your own styles. So you don't want to like copy somebody forever. You want to eventually turn it into your own creations. Okay, so I need to tighten up my neck, which I don't ever have the strength to do that too well, but I'm gonna try. So I don't think Big Daddy feels too good, so I don't really want to bother him, but I need to hold that while I try to make this knot, and it came undone, so it's not as tight as it was. I'm trying to wrap it around my thumbs and it didn't work. Now, can somebody just come tie that for me while I hold it tight? So I can't hold it tight and tight at the same time. So I can do it like this for now and get Big Daddy to just tie it around there for me in a little bit. But it's holding pretty good. It's doing pretty good. So we get the whole idea of it, right? Alright, so I can close up the head. And I'm just going to pull it through and close this up, knot it up in there real good. Whatever you're comfortable with. Alright, so that is my head. I feel like it's done well. So I'm going to just run my yarn down through, come out the back of my head, my rabbit's head or plushy head, and then snip it. Alright. Now, down here for the feet. So, like I said, we could have used about 5 rows of black to make it shoes, but we just left it legs. So, I'm going to change needles for one thing. I want a longer needle. And I'm going to kind of figure out my center. Okay. And I'm going to kind of just have an imaginary center here. And I'm going to go through the front and come out the back. And I was going to do this up for a little ways, just for legs. And I can't pull my needle through. And you kind of want to come up and in and out all along the same place that you have that imaginary center. You want to go in and out along that same line. And you could have put some, not stitch markers, but some needles to kind of guide you if you wanted to. That probably would have been a great idea. But I am kind of pulling this tight as I'm going along to try to make this increase, this kind of a decrease here between the legs. See how it's kind of creating a little indentation. So we're going to keep going. And just going to keep pulling it tight as I come along. This is how you give the appearance of two legs. It just kind of creates the indentation there. I want to go up to about probably right here. And you just have to decide how long is your legs and what kind of, you know, how are you, you know, what are you turning your project into? Sometimes things might have longer legs, so it's no certain number that I'm doing here. And I'm not too much focusing on the back. I mean, a little bit, but it's just kind of working out for me. My main thing is I want this front indentation kind of straight. Let me see. I think I have my legs about this length that I want them. And then this is the body. I might go one more time. And then I'm actually going to start coming down the legs again and pulling tight. So this is a quick, easy, beginner plushie for a 22 needle machine. Now for arms, I'm going to crochet some arms to go on this. And if you don't know how to crochet and you have the flower loom, the 12 peg flower loom, you can create you some arms, hands and arms to go on this through that. I'm going to crochet mine just because it will be faster. So I'm mixing knit and crochet. I definitely need to aim this over a stitch in the back. Now on the hands, if you're going to do the flower loom, I would do about 5 or 6 for your hand color. And then if you were doing a project that had a shirt on, then I would do the sleeve, start the sleeve. Now for this one, it's all one color, so you would just do white all the way. And you would do your arm, hand and arm length, probably about 20 to 25 rows. You want it to look proportioned there. You don't want it to look too short or too long. So it's kind of best that you just play around with it and discover what you like. The thing about crocheting it is I'll be stuffing it and can, you know, see my length as I'm making it. I'm gonna rethread this and keep going down a little bit longer just to make that indentation more, to stand out a little more. And I am pulling this tight and giving it a tug in there. Okay. And then, so you could really turn this into any kind of animal or creature that you wanted to. I'm going to add arms. You can add ears, facial features, wings. You could add anything you want to on it to turn it into whatever creature you're going for. But I believe I'm going to add arms and some ears, some big rabbit ears. All right. I'm having a little trouble pulling it through. Oh, there it goes. All right. Now I'm going to try to just close it off and bring this video to an end so we can start another video to show the arms and legs, arms and ears that I'm going to be adding. trying to come close to the end here to close this off well. And I accidentally took it off my yarn, unthreaded it. I'm trying to just, do a stitch to close it up. And now I'm just going to run my needle through here and pull that yarn up through the inside. Okay. So my body is done. I do need to get Big Daddy to tie this better for me back here. It is really good. It is pretty good. I did an alright job on it. Just depending on how well you want that neck indention, you could totally wrap it around again and tie it. So here is my plushy body so far. You can see it looks like it has 2 legs. And I'm going to create movable arms. So my arms will be able to move. And then I'm going to put ears on it, rabbit ears. So thanks for joining me today. And I will be back in the next video crocheting arms and ears for my little Miffy plushie. Alright, so I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me on this little tutorial showing how to make an easy plushie on the 22 needle knitting machine. And we will be back with part 2, making arms and ears, whatever I can fit into that video. Remember, it's a beautiful day to crochet. I'll see you in the next